Nice.
How long have I been playing FIFA for?
94.
99. 2003.
On the FIFA 12.
This is a fun experience, you know? It's just like you're in the game.
You know, we were really excited to see a game that EA Sports had made.
First time we went to 3D and you put it up against what we're doing now, and back then you believed that was as good as it could ever get.
But there were the hardcore that preferred Pro Evo back in the day.
Kind of got this competitive army who just wanted to win.
Oh, he scored!
We rewrote the engine out of Pro 8.
When FIFA kind of really did come back with a massive bang.
We pride ourselves in being the most authentic ball game there is. Women need to be part of that.
Look at what we're doing in 16. Wow, we've done a great job. Well, what do we do next?
Oh my word! What a goal!
Your quality, especially for something that exists in real life, is only as good as your starting point and your foundation.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
I remember 94 was the first time I actually got to play a really good multiplayer football, soccer video game, which was FIFA.
You know, I played a lot of Madden. I loved Madden back in the, in the Genesis back in the day. We played a lot of NHL as well, or EA Hockey as it was originally. With this pedigree of sports games coming from the EA Sports brand, we were excited that a soccer, for us, football game was coming out.
I remember we always used to play the 90-minute matches, like the full-length match.
When I was 14 years old in Colombia, it was, you kind of just lose yourself in the game.
You know, the beauty of video games is that escapist side to them, and we want to try and let you, live out your football dreams really through our game, and that's our inspiration.
Games have come a long way. Back in the day, it was all very generic. There was no fidelity to the graphics, so you couldn't even recognize a player. You know, they were all the sprite-based ones.
We finally figured out how to take a photo of a guy and map it onto our in-game model while still preserving our existing UVs. And I remember it because the guy who did it was so pleased that he got the player's face and printed it out life-size and cut 2 holes on it and wore it around his head for the rest of the day.
Oh dear, he's sliding all over the place. And great reflexes from the keeper.
I remember getting those games, putting them in. In fact, it goes for every single year we make the game. From when I was a fan and to now when I'm making the game, I feel like you get the game, you put it in, you look at it, and you say, wow, how is it going to get better than this?
It seems as if the chance had gone, but he kept his cool.
We haven't always been the best game around.
The market share battle against Konami, Pro Evolution Soccer, or Winning 11, depending on what time of the year and which studio was making it and where you lived in the world.
Winning 11, Pro Evolution Soccer. Winning 11 really shines, and that is why it continues to be the soccer game for real soccer fans.
We were always kind of there or thereabouts, but there were the hardcore that kind of preferred Pro Evo back in the day. The first one we did on the 360 wasn't the best game. I think everyone will hold their hands up and admit that. It really kind of laid the foundation for moves and upwards.
And that changes things now.
I had a contact from EA saying, hey, interested in seeing if you would like to join us over in Vancouver. I came over, I actually really liked the city and the people here. It was actually a very different vibe in the studio that I was expecting. The actual humans that were working on the Death Star are actually good guys. It's like that, even stormtroopers have families kind of moment. What I discovered was that EA, and in particular the FIFA franchise, was going through this huge reboot. You start chatting to these people and the approach was, we're going to recruit some of the best people from around the world who know about football, love football, have worked on football video games, or could, and have a passion about it, transplant them to what's essentially one of the most beautiful places on planet Earth, and then let them build the world's greatest football video game simulation that there has ever been.
We rewrote the engine out of FIFA 08, and since then the focus for us has always been gameplay. I mean, gameplay is the core of any good game.
Everything else we've done has really been built on the back of that IoT.
So rather than build off of old code that was designed for the PS2, we kind of rewrote it all so we could really kind of harness the power and the advancements of the next generation of consoles, whereas Pro Evolution didn't. They kind of built off of theirs. So we kind of really came at the new generation of consoles from the ground up.
EA's got a bit of a mantra at the moment about player first and put the game first.
So instead of doing kind of marketing type features where they sounded very good, but at the end of the day when you played them they weren't that compelling, we focused on what do our fans really want.
One of the first things I did, it wasn't my idea, it was a genius idea, was they wanted me to bond with the media.
Hello, bonjour, je m'appelle David.
Because, you know, new face for the franchise, met lots of video games journalists from Europe. I rock up completely naive, never done anything like this before, meet hater after hater after hater after, and I'm like, what have I done? And I really didn't expect the level of, you know, your game sucks. And I was like, okay. So it really was an outreach moment where you start going, well look, let's play FIFA and tell me what you don't like.
And focusing on what we think is really what they want as opposed to what will sell, you know, from a headline point of view. It was, you know, let's focus on gameplay, let's focus on the fundamentals, let's tune the locomotion and the animations and all these, the ball physics and all these little details that really added up to a whole much greater than the sum of its parts.
We just wanted to make sure that we were completely innovating every year in gameplay, improving, making the game as playable as possible.
And so it was a case of, okay, there's all this intelligence out there of what people don't like about our game. Let's not be stupid. You listen to what people don't like and you fix it. For those first 3-ish years, it was just listen, change, listen, change, listen, change, listen, change, listen, change. And you know, it's what EA now is.
Competition has a way of facilitating change, and it's obvious that the success of Konami's Winning 11 franchise has sparked a creative renaissance at EA.
We were kind of able to streak ahead from Pro Evo. We did have that kind of long-term vision. We said this year we're going to do this, and you know, it was a planned vision and execution on the ideas.
We all love football, we all love video games, so you've kind of got this multinational competitive army of people who just wanted to win.
They finessed it for a couple of years, and then that's when we started getting the reviews that we'd all wanted for so long.
And they just slowly built upon that new framework in the years to come, and then I think there was kind of a shift where our technology and what we could do with it really started to advance quickly, and people started to notice the game played really nicely. It was more responsive, it was more fun, more authentic.
I think 360-degree dribbling in FIFA 10 was a big thing. When we went from 8-direction dribbling to now complete freedom on the ball, that was a massive change.
From then on, we've just really kind of built upon that with like huge advancements with like the physics engine and all this kind of stuff. Again, really kind of harnessing the power of those consoles. As it always does, it kind of takes a few iterations to really kind of see that bear dividends.
FIFA 12, which was the year we had player impact engine, real-time physics. And that physics engine that we put in totally changed the way that people expected players to interact in each other. And I remember the amazement of people when they saw those collisions that year. There was nothing like it had ever been done before.
And tactical defending, they sort of put a stake in the sand and said, you can't play FIFA the way you used to play it. And we knew we were going to get a lot of flack for changing the defending and making people actually think about when they decided to tackle, but we knew it was the right way to go for the game, and it ultimately made the game a far better experience on both sides of the ball, so we knew we had to do it.
And I think at that point it was not just a game quality leap, it was a technological leap, it was a visual fidelity leap. By that point we had garnered enough interest in us that people would actually download the demo and take us seriously and play the game. And you know, for me that was probably the kind of the moment when FIFA kind of really did come back with a massive bang.
Hi there, and welcome to FIFA 09 Ultimate Team. A brand new game that allows you to play football like never before.
We had a little hole in our schedule where usually we deliver a Champions League product. You know, PES at the time got that license that year, and so we were trying to figure out what can we fill that gap with.
And harking back to the school ground days when you kind of bought a pack and you ripped it open, and it was that kind of pent-up excitement, that kind of Willy Wonka factory, as it were.
It was just a concept that really resonated with people, and the fact that how do I create this ultimate team?
And then we've allowed you to enact that and go in and try and collect those players into your team to try and create that, and then take them onto the pitch one step further and test your mettle against other people.
I mean, any sports fan in any sport probably has an idea of who, if they had the opportunity to be a manager, what they would do.
It's all part of this huge community, and I think with the community and the competitive aspect of it and the fantasy aspect of it, that I think those three ingredients, when you put them together, really make Ultimate Team a very, very compelling feature.
We saw the numbers and how many people were playing it and said, oh, this is something that we got to do again. Now to the point where most people that play FIFA are playing Ultimate Team.
I think when we got these new Gen 4 consoles and all of the things we were able to do there with the new processing power using our Ignite engine, it was another monumental step forward. The visuals took a leap forward, the lighting looked better, the crowd looked better. The things we could do in gameplay with the additional processing power were, you know, big leaps forward, adding step-based locomotion and these kinds of things.
This ability to build and share and collaborate within a framework of software.
How can we leverage the intelligent innovations that we've been making over the last few decades, and how can we put those all in one place?
To allow us, to allow Madden, to allow NHL, to allow UFC to basically share stuff. So, you know, be it the grass from PGA coming over in the past, or our crowd system going into Madden, or whatever else, it's a common technology language.
So if I want to model you, I can either go and try and find a photo of you, or I can get you in and I'll put you in our scanning booth, and I know that our source, our foundation is derived from you yourself, rather than an artist's interpretation of what may or may not be a bad photo of you, a lens that distorts your likeness, etc., etc.
I think it's far and away one of the more sophisticated pieces of software in the gaming industry. We could pick any aspect of FIFA and I could probably talk for days about the levels of intelligence that go into it.
We went into this year going, we are going to create a really beautifully playing, balanced game.
The past few years have been very good, but we've kind of gone back and forth between it's too slow or too sluggish to being, again, it's too quick, it's too arcadey. And I think FIFA 16 is the first one in many, many years where it has all this Gen 4, you know, beautiful visuals and amazing commentary.
Oh my word, what a goal!
And we have more crowd chants. So the atmosphere is better than ever. We have a cool new FIFA Ultimate Team mode, we have improvements in career mode. So there's a lot of stuff going in, but ultimately, all of that stuff doesn't matter if gameplay is not fun and is not compelling. And I think gameplay this year is the best that I can remember.
So we went back to the drawing board for FIFA 16, and again, we tried to innovate across the entire pitch because we wanted to touch every piece of the pitch to make sure that we could bring that balance back. Defending as a unit this year, and how all of the players are continually throughout the game figuring out what the opposition's doing and where I should be. In the midfield, you know, we wanted to bring that balance back with interception intelligence and how passes are getting cut through so that you can decide how you play. I want to actually use pace, I want to build up through the middle, I want to get it wide and get my cross in, I want to play a long ball. Whatever you want to do, you can find some measure of success, and it becomes a chess match between you and your opponent. And I feel like the product that we ended up with is really fun and balanced and engaging. You've heard us say play beautiful, and that's what the game's really all about.
The first female ever to be on the U.S. version of the FIFA.
It's an incredible honor, and to share it with Messi. And there's 12 women's teams in the game this year, and it's the first time ever that women are featured.
It would have been easy years ago to just have men's bodies, stuck a woman's head on top and said, women's football, job done, tick, move on, next feature.
So when we wanted to put women in the game, we wanted to do it fully authentic, and obviously there's a lot to that. You know, women move differently, the collision of two women is different, the way they kick the ball is different.
We started a prototype where we put a scanned female head onto our player rig to try and see if we could recreate women in FIFA, and we realized pretty quickly it wasn't going to work. We had a lot of work to do because it just looked like a woman's head on a man's body, and we knew.
There's different degrees of challenge. Overwhelmingly, it was to be able to support the different skeletons, because that makes a huge difference in the way they look on screen.
We had the opportunity to get the women's team in and scan them. So the body and the facial scan, we motion captured them so they move as they do. So it's kind of all these things kind of led up to a kind of the time that we felt was right to put that in, because like I say, it is an important game. It's an ever-growing side of the game.
Because they're a part of the sport, they should be part of FIFA. That's our motto as a company. It's in the game. They're in the game, they should be in the game, and it's as simple as that.
Football is by far and away the most popular sport in the world.
The great thing about soccer is, as a sport, it's easy to play. You know, you just need a ball, and that's it. You can go and really play. So I think that's one of the things that, you know, is why it became so popular. But for us, from a video game perspective, obviously that's a great thing for us to be able to deliver a game that we know sort of almost globally will appeal to people.
Well, how can I enjoy this sport outside of just watching it on TV? And FIFA is such a great way of doing that. So in that sense, we're kind of elevated by the sport expanding. And I think what it does is that no matter where you are in the world, if you are playing FIFA, you get exposed to, you know, very, very large numbers of the real players and the real teams that make up this fabric of the sport in real life.
Once you kind of get into it, once you get an appreciation for it, I think it just kind of goes on from there. And I think our game is a great way to kind of take that first step into the world of football.
You just can't write scripts like this.
And all of a sudden over here, FIFA starts gaining some traction because it's a highly reviewed video game. You know, with the North American teams in it, it's suddenly starting to appear on the TV as well.
You know, obviously we've really seen a change in popularity in the last few years, and I think that's a combination of World Cups, you know, the US team doing well.
The MLS is growing, becoming more high profile. It seems to be attracting more and more guys over from some big clubs.
Now I think what you're seeing is it just, you know, blossoming in North America, and like I say, I think we're a huge part of that, and it's great to hear that as well.
People are very much, you know, learning soccer through FIFA, and you know, we see a lot of examples of that in press, and you know, we're seeing examples of players from other sports that are really gravitating towards our game.
The sport is exponentially growing. The video game is exponentially growing too, and I think they're now really helping each other grow as a kind of duality at the same time.
It's been an exciting time. It's a great franchise to work on. I mean, obviously EA is a great company to work for, but to be able to work on FIFA, you know, a game and a sport that I love it feels very special. I feel pretty honoured to do it. If you're trying to make it in the video game industry, you know, the best thing to do is to try and, if the developer's near you, can you go in and test?
True passion and love for games, I mean, I think that is absolutely key.
Essentially, the advice I was given when I chose to go down this path was, why don't you find something you care about and want to do and go and do that for a living? Now, not everyone's lucky enough to be able to get a job doing what they want to be able to do. But I think if you put yourself in a position where, or try to get yourself in a position where there are things that you love doing and you would do in your own spare time, that's the kind of job that you want to try to get.
Seeing the popularity of the game, seeing the reaction to the game, that is the thing that really kind of keeps us coming to work. The awards are a nice side note and we're very proud of them.
The team that we have upstairs, every single one of them upstairs, you know, 20-odd different countries around the world have come together to make this football experience.
A lot of the guys are from the UK, South America. You know, I think we've got over a whole bunch of different nationalities that work on the team.
And they've all got that drive, they've all got that passion to make the best game, they've all got that passion around the sport, and it's coming together with a group of people like that to make the best game that you can, and then have it have worldwide success like we do on FIFA, that really gives you the satisfaction every single day when you wake up.
Every single person here will try to find a way to make it happen, not to find a way to help you understand why it can't be done. And to work in an environment where people are wired that way is pretty special.
We've really enjoyed making our game. It's, you know, we're very thankful that it's been successful, and we want to continue that, you know.
It's that time of year where we sort of stop now and say, wow, we've done a great job. Well, what do we do next? You look at what we're doing in 16, you know, visually from the women that we've added to the game and how realistic they look, and to the new lighting solutions we have that are physical-based lighting solutions that light the environments to make it feel photorealistic. And you still get that sensation every single year. This looks almost like the real thing. How are we going to take it one step further? And it's really a life direction, trying to make that iterative sports title better every single year.
As a team, I guess it boils down to this. There will be some things which are the natural evolution of what we're doing, but the excitement, the buzz, the goosebump moments of working here, that's when we're working on stuff that I'm not going to tell you about, which will hopefully be coming soon.
Hotline Miami is a striking blend of fast ultra-violence.
I don't even really know the guy, just like I see him around, he's cool.
There's a lot of bright colors, there's a lot of skin.
You really have to have guts to wear his shoes.
Definitely. I feel like, you know, out of all my albums, it's just the best album because I know what it took for me to do it. You know, it took me 3 years.